Welcome to MountBlue Prep. MountBlue Prep is a preparatory track of MountBlue, which helps you in improving your programming skills and problem solving skills, wherein it will be easy for you to crack HackerRank test of MountBlue, or you can score 2600 points in HackerRank. So these beginner level sessions are for you to improve your programming skills. So you can attend these and make it easy for you to get into MountBlue. Fine. So let me share my screen. Yes, in continuation to the previous session that I have taken up. So one question was raised yesterday that how you are going to find the second highest element in an array. Find the second highest element in an array. So how we are going to have that one? Let's take an array here with list of values. Can use where or let. Let's assume we are having an array with these values 10, 90, 30, 50, 60. Randomly you have a list of values. Now from this, how you are going to find the second highest element in an array? Good. Let's take here max and assign the value as 0. Fine. Let us iterate through the array and find the access each element and compare it. First of all, yes, you can use where or let. Do not get confused with that one. I is equals to 0. I less than array dot length. Then I plus plus. So as we go on accessing each element, we are going to compare. Let's go for max element first of all. So if the element that is there at the current index, if the element is what greater than what? Max. That is the maximum element we are going to show in this variable max. Then we are going to change it. Max is equals to what? Array of I. So this will give you the maximum element in an array. Good. Now, how to get the second maximum? Let us see that one. Array of I, if it is greater than the second max, fine. And we are going to check what array of I should not be equals to. Should not be equals to what? Max. Then what you are going to do here is max is equals to array of I. So how does this work? How does this work? Good. Let us check here. First of all, how we are getting through the iteration and how it is working. So how we are having in the first iteration, let's try to understand. In first iteration 1, so I value is 0, isn't it? And max value is initially 0. Fine. So then S max, second max is also 0. So what will happen here? I value array of I. So we'll get the first element in the array. That is what 10. So 10 greater than 0 condition is true. So value will be swapped, okay, or changed. Max value will be changed. Now when we come to this condition, what happens here? Array of I is 10. 10 greater than X max. Condition is true. And the second condition that we are giving is what? Array of I not equals to max. So why array of I is 10? 10 not equals to max. Condition is what? This is what? False. So this will not execute. Second max won't work here. Now in the next iteration, when you have iteration, second iteration, when I value is how much here? 1. So what is the max value is, will be, let's see here. So array of 1, what is the value here? 90. So 90 greater than 10 condition is true. So you'll get the value here. What is that? 90. Isn't it? Fine. And S max, let's come to this condition here. Array of I is 90. 90 greater than S max condition is true. And array of I 90 not equals to max condition is false. So S max will not change here. It will be as it is. So in the next iteration, when I value is 3, what will happen here? Sorry, I value is 2 here, isn't it? So when I value is 2, what will happen here? You are going to process this element 30. So 30 greater than 90 condition is false. And when we come to this condition, 30 greater than S max condition is true here. S max is 0. And 30 not equals to 90 condition is true here. So second max value will be what here? Max value will be 90. Second max will be what here? 30. Good. So like that it will iterate. So at this point, okay, 50, the condition will be true. This condition again, then this condition will be true here for the last iteration. And like that we are going to have the S max value as what? 60 in the last iteration. That is the second max. Let us display this and check. Console.log of S max. We got the second highest value is what? 60 here in this array. You can see here it is 60. So that is how you are getting the second highest element. This is the criteria that we are writing here. This is a simple technique that you can apply to get the second highest element in an array. Okay. If you have any queries, just you can send me in the chat, guys. So that will be addressed at the end of the session. Let's go to the next concept. Like in the last session, we have covered few functions of JavaScript. Let us continue with that one, where r is equals to, then let's assume we are having an array of some numbers. So let's see some more functions here, how that functions will be helpful for us. Like if you want to reverse these, how we are going to use that one, console.log, you can see so array dot reverse. The reverse function will reverse the elements in an array. So we got the elements in the reversed order by using this function reverse. Now we can use the function here, join here, like suppose if we are having an array here, where array is equals to, we are having time, let us assume 12, 20 second, this one. We have an array like this with set of values. Then we are going to have array dot join method is there. So when you are using join, what would happen here? So you are going to join the each elements, okay, with the specified character here. Suppose I want to have hyphen between that, so you can use that. By default, okay, suppose if we are giving within single quotes, it is the character that we are specifying here. With that, it will be joined. Suppose you want to give slash here, with that, all the array elements will be joined. You can see this example as well, array dot join. Suppose I want to join with pipe symbol. You can see that these elements have been joined to form a single value by using the specified character here. You can give anything, any character can be specified, using that it will be joined. Good. So that way you can use the function here to reverse it or to join it, isn't it? Fine. Now let's see, suppose if we have an array with values where you want to use the function find. So how we are going to use the function find, let us see here. Suppose you want giving array dot find. So the find function will take the callback function. So what is the callback function? The callback function is a function which is given as a parameter to the function. So here this find function will take the parameter here value. So how it works, let's see here. So value greater than 15. So what is the result we got is what, 20 here. Look at this one. So array dot find. So it will take one by one each value. It will apply on that and go as a parameter to this callback function. So value here in this case is 10. So 10 greater than 15 condition is false. Then 20 is there. So 20 greater than 15 condition is false. Sorry, true here. That way it has written the value as what, 20. So what the find function will do means, so whatever value that is going as a parameter to the callback function, So what will happen with that? So array dot find of this value, whatever value that has been sent, okay, that whatever criteria we are giving. So whichever value first matches that criteria, that will be given as an output. Now in this case 20 was there. Now suppose 90 was also there, but 90 was not returned. Why? Because the first value that satisfies this criteria of value greater than 15 is returned. Good. So in the same way we are having find index. Now you want to get the index where that value is there. That 20 is there at the index of what? 1. So find index will return. We'll also take the callback function and will return the index of the value that satisfy the criteria here. Yeah, it is different from the includes function. The includes, we have seen that it will check whether it is there or not. Array dot includes of, if I give 20, if it is there, it is returning true. But you want to find the value based on certain criteria. So whichever criteria we are mentioning here, we are specifying here, that criteria, whenever it is satisfied, it will return the index of that element. It is at what position, that we can get it using the function find index. The find will give you the actual value and find index will return the value, actual value, that first value that has satisfied the criteria. Good. Now let's see, like suppose you can use the function here, console.log array.toString. You can just convert it to string. ToString is used to convert the array to the string. You can see these values are converted in the form of what? String. Good. Yes, let's go to the more advanced concepts here of how we can sort the array elements. You can see the sort function will sort the elements in an array, given array. Just you can check here, names dot sort will just sort it. You can see in the string, so M is capital I have given here. So what happens here, you are going to have the elements sorted here with respect to what here? The ASCII values. Here ASCII value of A, okay, then M in the alphabetical order with respect to, not with respect to the length. So by default, the sort function will sort in the form of what? Strings. Suppose if you are giving an array of numbers, let's give you a array of numbers. Array dot sort and check it. So we are getting what? 10 first, then 2, then 3, 4, 5. So it is with respect to what? The beginning first character here, the ASCII value of that 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5 we are getting. Suppose if had we given only 0, that would come at the beginning. The ASCII value of that is what? 48. And 1 is 49. Like that, it will just sort the elements with respect to what? ASCII values. Good. Now let's, if at all you want to sort the elements with respect to the numeric values. So for that, we are going to use array dot sort, and it takes a callback function with a comma b. So what happens here? This a comma b will go as a values here. Okay. Then we we are going to give what? A minus B. Let's see how we are getting this one. Like you can see, we got the elements already in the numeric array. So how does it happen here actually? How does it happen here? So array dot, when we are giving array dot sort of A comma B, it has taken the value. A minus B means first two values, 10 minus 2, isn't it? So the condition here, it will be written, if it is true, then you are going to have the elements swapped here. So that sorting will be what? In place sorting. Suppose you want to get the elements in the descending order, you can give what? B minus A. You can see here, this is the simple logic that will help you out in sorting the elements in the descending order. Good. Let's go to the function map here. How can we use map function here and check these things? So here, the map function is applied. Here, the syntax is this one. It will take a callback function as a parameter here. Map, then callback function you have, and the callback function takes what? How many values here? The current value, the index, and the array. So what is ARR here is the original array that on which we are processing. Okay, that is sent as a parameter, that is optional. Current value, then index, the index of the element. So how it works actually means, so how this map function works, let us see here. Array is equals to, you are having the list of values here, 10, 23, 4. Now when we apply this one, array dot map, for each value that we are using here, this is a callback function. Let's double the values here, value into 2. So this would return an array. So let's store in that same array. So how does this work? Means first value is taken here. It is 10. Array dot map. So value in this case would be 10. So that will go here, and from here that we can process that in the function here. We can do anything, any task that we want, we can perform here. Value into 2. So what we will get here, that is 10 into 2 is what? 20. That value will be returned here, and that we are going to store in the resultant array here. It goes here and it will be stored here in this array. So for every value, once it is done, it will go to what? Next value. What is the next value here? Next value is what here? 20. So 20 will be taken here. For 20, it will just take the value, map function, it will send as a parameter to the callback function, then it will be processed. 10 into 2 is 20. Then that value is returned and it is stored. For each and every element in the array, it will just manipulate that. Whatever task we want, we can perform here in this callback function, and that value will be returned. Compulsory for each and every value, it will just return the value. Next element will be what? 3. Next it will go for what? 4. So one by one it will process. So when we are running this one, so what is the output we are getting? 20, 46 and 8. For each value that was taken here, first 10, then value we have multiplied. Now suppose if I give here, it will return the value. What value is returned here? After manipulating compulsorily, it will just return the value. Good. So that way we can use the map function here. Let's check here again once we have seen the example. So map array dot map function, then function current value, then you are having an index is optional here. So what do you mean by index here? In the example that I have taken up here, it did not give the index or array also. So the current value is the value that holds the value current element that we are processing here, from one by one, from the beginning, first element, the next element, like next element will just proceed. Then index is the index of that element, current element. In this case, suppose if we take, if you are giving index, you can just see here. If at all you want to use index also, that way you can use it. Value, comma, you can just use index, isn't it? In some cases, we want to use that index and process the elements. Then we can do that way also. So that is what optional. Value is compulsory here. So you could be using, suppose some index, you want to have that value calculated or perform some task with respect to the index. Then you can use what? Index also as the parameter. Good. And next one is what? Array. That is optional. So actually, what do you mean by array here? The original array that we are processing, no, that we can send as a parameter also. So that we can use here in this callback function to perform certain tasks. So that way we can have it. So what is the concept of map? Means compulsorily it will return. It will return what? The value that we are going to process for each and every element. Let us see that one. Suppose if you are giving value greater than 15. Let's run it. So what you are getting here? We got the value as false, true, false, and false. Why is it like that? 10 we have taken. So 10 greater than 15. 10 greater than 15, condition is false. So the value returned was what? False. Next one was 20. So 20 greater than 15, condition was true. So got the value as what? True. So that way it will be returning for each and every value. It will just return the value. Good. That is how you can use the function map. Yeah, let's do one more thing here, like how we can use callback function and give the value. Let's check here. Let's write one function here is even n. If n mod 2 is equals to 0, else return false. Now just let's give this one callback function here. Suppose if you are having multiple lines of code to be written, so in that case how it works, let's see here. So we got true here, 10 is there, that goes as a parameter to this function, callback function here. So you have 10 here, this will be taken by the map function, then that will go as a parameter to this callback function. So n value will be how much here? It will be what? 10. Now here 10 mod 2, it is true, it is, this condition is satisfied, it is returning true. For next element 20 also you got true, for 3 it is false, so you got the output here as what? False. For 4 it is what? True, so it is true. That is how you can just specify the callback function name. If you have any complex code to be written, that you can specify in this. That is how you can use the map function and specify the callback function to be executed for each and every element in an array. In the same way, we have another call important function, that is reduce. the reduce function will just reduce it to a single value. It will just reduce it to a single value. So just like filter, you can just see in this case, you have reduce, then function, that is the callback function you are giving. Then first parameter in this callback function is the accumulator, or you are going to have the total in that one, and the current value. Good. And the current index and array. It takes what? 4 parameters. Just similar to the map function. It was taking 3 parameters, but it is what, how many parameters are here is the 4 parameters. So how does that work? Let's see here. Let's assume we are having an array is equals to its set of values 10, 20 and 30. Now I want to reduce it to a single value. I want to find the sum of the elements in an array. So how will that work? So array dot reduce. Okay, then this is the callback function. Let us assume we want to store that in the sum and the current value that we are going to process. Then you are giving callback function. So you want to find the sum, so you can just simply give here what? Sum plus value. Now the reduce function will give you one single value for every value that it takes. So how that that works? Let's see here. First it will take the value 10. So in this case, 10 value will be passed. And if at all we want, we can just give the initial value of sum. Good. So we did not initialize it. So what will happen here? It will go as a parameter into this callback function and value. So value plus sum. Good. So we did not, sum here in this case will be what? Undefined. So undefined plus value will be what? 10. So you'll be getting the value as 10. Then it will take what? Next value. So sum in this case. Now it will return what? Sum. For each and every call to the value, to the callback function, it will return the value. So what is the value of that sum accumulator? We can get it out. Next one is when you are having the value as 20. Some value was what here? 10. So here it will go here. Then sum was 10 here previously. Now for the call to the value of 20, you will get the sum as 10 and value is what? 20 here. So 10 plus 20 value, some value will be how much here? 30. In the next call, when you are having the value 30 being processed here, some value is 30 here, value of per element is what? 30. 30 plus 30 is 60. So that has come to the end, so it will just return the sum. Now let's see here. You can just console.log and check it out. So we got the sum as here 60. Cool. So next let us see how we can use the reduce function to find which number is greatest. So in this case, like we can find the greatest element in an array also. Like what we can do is max and value. Then let's give the callback function. If value greater than max, simply you are going to return what value. What's missing here? There's one more bracket here needed. Yeah, this is for that function, callback function. Good. So we got the maximum value in the array using the reduce. You can see a reduce will just reduce it to a single value. Result. So we have to write here else also. In that case, if the condition is false, it is not returning any value. So return what? Max. Good. If you want to get the least element, you can see here. As in array, we do not have directly functions to find the greatest element or the least element. They can use the reduce function and reduce it to a single value using reduce function. Good. So let's discuss the next function, that is filter. So how can we use the filter? Let us see here. So how does the function filter work here? Let's see that. So you can give your array dot filter. It also takes the callback function here. Then same case, value, index and array goes as a parameter. Then value, we are going to use that. Suppose I want to find in an array the elements which are greater than elements. It will return the elements like for whichever criteria is satisfied. So value greater than 10. So it also returns an array. So let's declare here var result is equals to this. Then console.log of result. So whichever values are satisfying the criteria here are returned. Let's check how it's working. First, it has taken the value 20. So filter function will take the first value from an array on which the filter is applied. So value in this case is what? 10. So 10 greater than 10 condition is false, so that is not returned. You can see here that is not returned into the resultant array. Next, it will go for 20. So 20 value will be taken. Okay, that is the next element from the array, and it will apply to the filter function. Then that will go as parameter or argument to this callback function. So value in this case is 20. So 20 greater than 10. Condition is true. So when this condition is evaluated to true, so whatever value was there, that has been written as an output. Now in this case, it is what? 20. So 20 has been written as an output. Next value is 30. That is also satisfying this criteria. So that goes as an output to this array. Then 40 is taken for each and every value. So what is the difference between map and filter? Can't we use map here? So for map, for every value, for each and every element that we are mapping it to the elements of an array, it will return the value. So we want only the values which satisfy this criteria of value greater than 10. In that case, we are using filter. Yes, we can give that. So whichever satisfies that criteria, we can just specify that one. Like I want to find the prime numbers in an array, isn't it? Prime numbers. Only I want to display the prime numbers or display only the even numbers in an array. So like that, we can use the callback function here. Function is even of n. If n mod 2 is equals to 0, return false. Let's apply this. Now you can see here, just we are giving is even, so we are not returning the value. If it is true, for that the first value that has been taken will be returned as an output to this resultant array. Now suppose if you are having 3 here, that is not satisfying this criteria of even, so you will get false, so that value is not returned. So in this case you are going to return true. Okay, for the criteria that you want it to be satisfied, for that the value should be returned. Okay, otherwise we are going to return what? False. That is how you can just use the function filter and specify any complex conditions to be evaluated and returned. So that you can do it using this one. Like suppose if you have is prime, you want to check whether whatever prime numbers are there that you want to display, so you can use that is prime. Yeah, so let's do that one for where I is equals to 2 semicolon I less than n, then I plus plus. So whenever we get any factor for that one, let's, if n mod I is equals to 0, that is if you are getting that as a factor, this is simple logic that you can check it out to check. So in that case we are getting what here, it is false, it is not a prime number. So otherwise we are going to return what? True. So you did not get any factor other than 1 and that number, then you are going to return what? It's a prime. Okay, you can see a 3 is the one only that is prime here, so we got the output that is applied, on which the filter has been applied. So that way you can use here callback function and specify on the filter to execute for each value and return that if it is satisfying that criteria. Okay. So these are the important functions like filter, reduce, map, find, which will take the callback function as a parameter and returns a value. So map will compulsory return the each, for each and every value mapped, it will return certain value, and filter will return that value whenever that condition or criteria is satisfied. That is the main difference between that. And reduce will just reduce it to a single value. So that is how we can use these functions: map, reduce. Yeah, let's take about like matrices or two-dimensional array. Suppose if we are having an array with these, so 1 comma 2 comma 3 and 4 comma 5 comma 6 and 7 comma 8 10 comma 20 comma 30. So it's basically a two-dimensional array. Just you can check it out here. You want to display this one for I is equals to 0, I less than array dot length I plus plus. So what will happen here? Console.log of array of I. So it would refer to, this would refer to what? First element. Actually first element again is an array here. Then second element is an array. Next one is also an array. Good. Now let's take here. If you want to find the sum of each row, find the sum of each row of a matrix. So how would we do that one? You can see our array in this array of I is again an array. So we can use the function reduce here. So I will use here array of I dot reduce, isn't it? So fine, you can give here some comma value, sum plus value. Good. So you can just display immediately after that one. So console.log of S. So you can see here we got the value as 6, that is sum of the first row. Then sum of what? Second row. Next sum of what? Next row. So that way we can use this one. Sum of each row. Fine. Let's do here. Suppose I want to double the elements in an array. So how would we do that one? Yeah, I'll just use the map function. So array dot map. Good. Double the elements. Each and every element should in a matrix should be doubled. So how will we do that one? Okay, value in this case is again an array. Value in this case is an array. So what will happen here? We want to map that one. We want to double the values. So what we can give here, value dot map, then element. So element into 2, isn't it? So whatever value we are getting, let's return that one to this. Console.log of result. You can see in this case all the values of the array have been doubled. So what is happening here? Result is the one that is holding. So array dot map means you are getting the first row here. What is the first row here? It is 1 2 3, isn't it? So value in this case is again an array. So again I have applied the map on that one. Value dot map means you will apply the map on this one. So element in this case is what? First of all it will be 1. In this case the element will be what here? 1 first. So 1 into 2, so it is 2. Then whatever value you are getting, no, it will you are getting an array, so that is returned. So that will be returned to this map function and then ultimately to the resultant. So then next element it will process. Then once this is finished, this complete array is finished, it will just go to the next array, that is at the index of what? 1. Now in this case the value will be this one. When you are going to process this one, it is going to double, so you are getting this output. Next, once that is finished, for every value then it will just apply that one. Your value in this case is an array, so you'll get the value mapped. So for 4 5 and 6 the values are mapped and they are doubled. Then This array is taken by this map function, outer map function, and that will go as a value. Then value is again an array with 10, 20, 30. So I have just mapped it. So 10, so element will be 10, then 20, then 30. They are doubled and the values are returned. So this is how you can use the map functions. Good. So any queries in this one? Fine. Stop the recording here. So that is how you can use the map, filter and reduce functions.